Hi, my name is Misha, and I'm doing game monetization for most part of my career, which is about 10 years for now. And I want to spread the knowledge because every time I did it for my colleagues, I found that it helps me to learn more. I found that I'm happy to see how people know more now. And that's why I decided to start this channel. And I think that we can go to the first video, which is basically the introduction video to this course. I will describe what I want to do, what it will be about, and what we will cover in this series of videos. Most likely, you came to this video because you are my friend, and you already know that each video will be 10 to 15 minutes each. I don't know about this video yet, how long it will be, maybe longer, maybe shorter. Uh, but basically, I'll cover these main chapters, which you can see on the screen. And now I'll describe a bit what chapter will consist of. Chapter 1. So, we will speak about early prototyping of the game. On this stage, of course, you don't earn money yet. On this stage, it's not even a game yet, but you need to already understand how you will earn money in future. So when you prototype your game, you must understand how the game will work, and that's why you need to know what is game, what is meta of the game, and also at this point, at this moment, we will pick the genre for your game, or you will pick the genre for your game. And besides, we will speak about how to add something extra, something special to your game so that it could stand out from a lot of other games on the market. Keep in mind that only one game of 7 is profitable, and even fewer games are as much profitable that it makes sense to keep them going. Now, going to chapter 2. Second chapter is game economy setup, and probably it is the most important chapter in the whole course, because here is where we discussing how to create the value. You know, every game pretty much is about selling people a bunch of pixels. So some dots on their screen look in a particular way, and it makes them believe that it's worth spending money for it. So you want to grow virtual cabbage instead of paying in the shop for real cabbage. For what reason? Uh, because somebody created the value. Somebody made you believe that this cabbage is valuable. We must learn how to do it. We must learn how to make sure that the virtual cabbage or anything virtual is connected to your real life money or your real life resources, to be correct. And when we did it, we can go to the next step, which is making price out of this value. So when we created our virtual cabbage, we now can start thinking how much it costs, because in different games we can have different values. The next thing we do after we created the value, we must price it. We must understand how much we can earn on it, and how to make people not only value what we create for them, but also to pay for it. Then we will try to spiral it up. Basically, by this moment we will know what the game is about, how we make people like what we do, how to make people pay for what they like. And at this moment, the most difficult part is to spiral it up, to create more and more content for what players want to pay for. Basically, what I want to achieve here is to let you know that if you have enough content for 3 days of playing the game, you can easily create 90 days or even a year of playing the game. Finally, in this chapter, we will speak about balancing the monetization model of the game. Every game can be based on one of three or every three pillars. The first one is the IP monetization. Basically, we sell items in our game. The second one is the interstitial advertisement. That's the advertisement you hate the most. That's the advertisement you see every time you go to some hyper casual games, and it is on your screen when you don't even want to see it. And third is some kind of mix between these two. It's the rewarded videos, when you can watch the video and get some reward, so some kind of payment for non-paying users. And as a video game maker, you should understand how to combine them all to maximize your profits, and I'll teach you it. The third chapter is dedicated to the classic tricks of the games. You don't need to create something new every time you build a new game. You can implement the best practices, and these best practices also can be divided into a few main areas. The first one are the best practices, which don't make you money directly, but they help you to retain your players. So, for example, calendars or friends gifts, all such types of features in the game help you to retain your users better and keep them in your game. The second one helps you to get more money from your ads. It's about where to place the ads, it's about how to make people watch not one ad but 10 or even 100. And obviously the third one, it's how to make money from in-app purchases or IP. That's the most simple and effective package of tools. Basically, here we will discuss all the types of discounts, starter bundles, season passes, and whatever you can imagine. Basically, whatever you can see in the game. If that's a popular tool, we will discuss it here. Let's go to the fourth chapter, which is dedicated to live ops. By this moment, you will already know what your game is about, why people play it, what is valuable for them in it, how you make them pay for it. You've already implemented some features, and now your goal is to reiterate these features. Because if you only use each feature once, you will never have enough resources to develop your game. That's why we need live ops. If players spend in your game more than 7 days, it means that you can already implement some live ops. Because in this case, you don't need to create new event every time. You can reuse your old events just in other hat, let's say, and you still can monetize your players. That's why we will speak about seasonality. We will speak about A/B testing, how to set them properly, how to make sure that we are checking the right stuff, how to make sure that we don't cherry pick the facts for what wins for us, but at the same time we don't go to scientific significance levels, because in science, when we speak, for example, about biology, it's super important for scientists to be very strict and not let any false positive results in their conclusions. But for us, the product managers, the reality is often that we should pick one of the options, even if we are just 70% confident in this option. So for us, A/B testing is always about trying to find the answers, even if we can't be sure, even if we can't be confident about them. And finally, we will speak about segmentation. And by segmentation, I will mean not just geography or platforms, but if we can do something for users depending on their behavior. And now I'll speak a little about the final chapter, but before it, please don't forget to subscribe. and hit the like button. And of course, in the comments, let me know if you want to know something about the games. Chapter number 5, Analytics Setup. Basically, that will be a short chapter dedicated to how to track your game in the best possible way. I'll tell you about best practices, probably even worst practices. I'll tell you about the MVP approach in analytics, which will allow you to cover everything that you need when you need it. Because I met some people in the industry who want to cover everything with analytics, but it will never be used. So that's important for you not to spend too much of your time to cover everything with analytics. And to be honest, if I created this course for people who work with me, I'd put this chapter to the first step, because when we develop the game, we should know in advance how we add the analytics. But here we will discuss it in the end of the course. Okay, that's it, and let's stay tuned. Goodbye.